Hello everyone. So today we will see how we can really leverage GitHub Copilot for software engineering and software development. So as you know, it's a very popular AI powered tool that can really help developers to cut down on the development effort, and it can really write code, it can write test cases, and we will see how it really works in action. Let's imagine a scenario where I am a developer and I am assigned a user story, and I now want to use GitHub Copilot to cut down on my development effort. So this is an actual example of a story. The story says that as a system administrator or an application manager, I want to effectively manage user roles using the backend of my application, and so that I can control and assign these roles to different users based upon their responsibilities and access requirements. And as part of the acceptance criteria, I'm expected to create four REST APIs, namely one API for creating a role, second one for assigning a role, the third one for modifying a role, and fourth one for removing a role. And for this kind of task, we normally uh, tend to estimate around 5 to 6 days of development effort, and it also includes around 2 days of QA effort, or the quality functional testing effort. So, for this particular story, what will be our approach? So, first we will create the database schema for the role table, and the role table is supposed to have around seven different columns, starting from role name, role ID, description in that manner. And then we would create the role service file, which will house the four REST APIs. And lastly, we will then conclude our development by creating the unit testing, the UT code for the created files. So, as you know that we would need different prompts to really tell the GitHub Copilot to come up with the suggestion. So, here are some of the sample prompts and how they can be really created. So, let me go quickly to the code. So I have opened a file called models.ts where which houses all the different kinds of database schemas. So I already have a schema in the name of a user schema, and I want to create the new schema for the role schema, the new schema for the role table. And I have already created the prompt to save time. So let me press enter, and as you can see, quickly the GitHub Copilot is able to come up with the code that will create my role schema with the the corresponding column names. And for each column, we have the name field, and then we have the type field. So our first part of the job is done, and we have created the role schema. Now let's go to the role.service.ts file and create our uh, class, create our controller class that will have all the four REST APIs. So I created a class beforehand. The name of the file is role.service.ts, and I have included all the uh, files which I need to create this code, and I've also copied the prompt. So prompt says that we want a role control class that handles the CRUD operations for roles, and this class should have methods similar to the ones in the user control class. So I already have a similar kind of code which already exists, and this is the code is about user control class, which has got certain methods like create user, update user, and I want to have the similar kind of functionality for my role schema. So the prompt is already there in on the screen. So let's press enter and see. As you can see, it quickly gives us the suggestion. So let me press the tab key and control S. So It has created a role control class which really extends the CRUD operation class. And within this class, there are four methods: create role, update role, delete role, and list role. So all the four methods that we were looking for have been created. And on the surface of it, I do not see any compilation errors, and the code looks to be fine for with me. Now we have created our code. Next step is to create the unit test cases. So let me minimize the code so that I can select the class. So I've selected the class and I'm pressing Control I. Uh, there are four different APIs or four different features which Copilot provides. One is doc, wherein we can ask the Copilot to generate documentation for a given piece of code. The next is explain feature, where uh, we can ask Copilot to explain a particular code in a simple language. This is a very good feature where somebody is new to the project and they want to get ramped up, so they can take help of this feature. We can even ask Copilot to fix a particular code that is breaking, and maybe they we are not really sure what's wrong, and the developer is not able to fix that, so they can really uh, take help of GitHub Copilot to fix that. Oh, finally, we have the last API to generate the test cases. So I'll click on test and press enter. So as you can see, it is fetching the response, because I think the file is would be a bit long, so it might take some time to fetch the responses. So let's wait for this to complete. Okay, I think there is some network issue. Let me try again. Okay, so it's saying that we are almost there. As you can see here, it's now asking me to create a new file. Obviously, the unit test cases will be housed in a different separate file. The file name would be role.service.test.ts, and it would be in the same folder. Let me click the create button, and okay, so it has created a new file altogether. So it's a test file, and if I see the file, so I see there is a main test case which has been created for the role control class, and within that I can see there are four test cases, one each for the four different methods of this class. So there is one test case for create role, second one for update role, third for delete role, and last one is for list role. So it has been able to create the one unit test cases for each method. And in case if we want to create more test cases, and maybe we want to cover the negative scenarios, we can ask Copilot to create those categories of test cases also. So we would conclude here, as we have created our entire code for this particular functionality by just using the prompts provided to the Copilot extension. Hope you all like the video. Thank you.